Okay, I think we are ready to roll. Awesome. Thank you for joining us for another week of live coaching. So today's call is going to be about marketing. This is one of my favorite topics. So hopefully we'll dive right into it. So give me just a second, and I think we have another minute before we actually get started. So let's give everyone a chance to come on in. Looks like we still have people coming on in. So we'll get started in the next 30 seconds or so. Didn't realize I logged in a little bit early, so bear with me. And actually, well, for those of you that are already here, let's make sure that our audio and visuals are good. So if one of you or two of you would be awesome enough to let me know I see and hear you, we can go ahead and get started here. Um, on top of the hour. So if you can let me know you see and hear me, that would be awesome. And then we'll know that everything's good. So let me just go ahead and make sure I get settled in myself. Okay. All right. I know there's people in here. Just want to make sure that we're good. Let me make sure. I'll check some stuff on my end. Cool. Okay. Looks like we're good. Awesome. Thanks, Mike. I hear you, Craig. Awesome. Adam. Awesome. Okay, cool. We are good. Tests. Okay. For some reason, I think the. All right. Can you guys hear me? All right. Okay. That was really weird. All right, because I know the audio was working when we first got started. Okay, looks like you guys can hear me fine. Yeah, I apologize. I don't know what happened with that. Not sure where I cut off, but I think we had a few people tell me that they can hear me fine. But okay. All right, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Let's kind of make an opportunity out of this. Do you guys want me to go back and cover some of the stuff that I just went through, or do we want to just dive right in? Um, but yeah, that's me. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Adrian Nez, that's me. If those of you that didn't hear that, that's me, but you've seen it. Again, Adrian Nez, head of customer strategy, and we are here to crush it. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and just dive right in. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes technology doesn't go the way that you want it to. So what we're going to cover today, actually, you know what I was saying was I do want to shout out, really give a shout out to those of you that are brand new to your first carrot call. If you can let me know who you are and where you're from, we want to welcome you in. So if this is your first carrot call, please let me know. Give us your name and where you're jumping on, and we want to say hi. But diving right into it, so what we're going to cover in this call is how to crush your market. It's primarily going to be centered around some tools, some processes that we use to analyze the competition. Now, this ain't a new subject, but really I want to kind of just dive in again and really help you guys refocus. A lot of times we can go and do these calls, but a lot of times, a week later, we kind of fall back into some things that maybe we shouldn't be doing, or we're focusing in the wrong task. But again, this is just kind of really to really take a look at how to analyze. What are some things that maybe that you can do? Might just be one little thing that makes all the difference. But we're going to talk about content optimization. We're going to talk about content, title tag, page speed. So some of the stuff is somewhat techy, but the majority is going to be just really the content. And then we'll talk about some optimization and also answer the question, what content should I be talking about? That's one of probably the most common questions I get with the carrot call, with the strategy call, excuse me, is I don't know what content to publish. So I'll definitely throw some ideas and some things that we've been doing. I think there'll be some really, really good value for you there. And we're going to talk about domain authority. What is domain authority and how that factors in into why that's so important and how to obtain authority. And so again, a lot of little stuff, but we'll help you put it pretty much together. So that's what this call is about, and I'm excited about it. And let's go ahead and get going. So just really quick. Awesome. So we got Ron from Detroit. Awesome, Ron, for your first call. Mike is from Virginia. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. All right. So we got two newbies. Again, everybody welcome in Ronald and Mike. Ronald's in Detroit and Mike is out of Virginia. So, all right, cool. Welcome in, guys, and let's get started. So again, what we're going to talk about is content optimization. So let me ask you this: how many of you guys on this call, or gals, the famous Trevor line, guys and gals, right? How many of you on this call are marketing content? And when I mean marketing content, that could be blog posts. Maybe you're shooting out or publishing videos on a weekly, or maybe let's just say at least once a month. How many of you guys are utilizing the content pro articles, or maybe you're publishing your own articles? We'd love to kind of get some feedback, because if nobody's doing that, maybe you guys are stuck on the subject, or maybe what topic you should be talking about. We can go in that direction, because again, this call is about you guys. Okay, this call is about making sure that we meet you guys where you are, and that I want you guys to walk away today taking action. So let's go ahead and get some feedback if we can. How many of you are utilizing the content per articles? Okay, so Kathy is awesome. And Kathy, are you on those articles? Are you Are you just publishing them? Are you are you promoting them? Give me a little bit more feedback on how you're using the content articles. Because one of the things that I'm seeing is that most all of you on this call are Pro members. So each and every one of you have access to to the Content Pro articles. So, and I'm seeing that it's not being fully utilized to its capacity the way I see it. Okay. Now, part of it, I'm sure, is just not knowing what to do, how to do it. So we'll cover that. But we'd love to know. So, Craig says yes. All right, cool. Content Pro making one video per week. So okay, cool. Building a Facebook fan page and publishing to Facebook. Cool. All right. Okay, looks like some of you are definitely utilizing the Content Pro, but adding relevant pictures to it. Awesome. So M is doing that. Okay, Mike, just setting up my site and creating Facebook page. Not quite sure yet. Okay, cool. All right, so everyone's kind of a little bit, some of you are using it, some of it are just getting started. So cool. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Okay. So one of the things that I'm really, really kind of a big fan of utilizing is the Mozbar. So let's talk about tools first, and then we'll kind of dive into some of the content creation. So the Mozbar is really, really a quick tool. Now, again, one thing I'll say about tools too, guys, there's never going to be one perfect tool. Okay. One of the things that people kind of tend to me is, well, I'm using the Mozbar, but it's not showing all my backlinks. Mozbar is probably not the best to analyze backlinks. Okay. Mozbar is really, really a quick way to quickly analyze kind of what you're up against. Okay, it's not going to tell the whole story, but it's a good way to kind of know where is my competition at. Okay, where's my competition at? And let's just go ahead and dive into an example. So, right. All right, let me see if I can activate mine. All right, there we are. Okay, so, all right, so Mike, I'm gonna pick someone out of, hey, Mike, can you send through your website? Send through your motivated seller website. Let's kind of use some real case studies as part of our training today. I don't know about you, but when I used to jump on these calls with Trevor, when Trevor was conducting it, which I still learn a lot from him. I remember being able to love when he would use real life examples. So I'm going to do the same thing. Let me just go ahead and log into my, oops. Okay. Oops. Let me go ahead and just activate. So if you guys don't have the Mozbar, right, what you want to do is make sure that you guys are grabbing that. There's a couple of ways to do that. You guys can go to the Google. Now it is a Google Chrome tool, so just head over to Google, do a search for Google Chrome, and just go into the store and just look up. All right. Oops, this is not where I want to be. Chrome store. All right, cool. All right, so just go ahead and look for Mozbar. Okay. And I think they do, if I'm not mistaken, they may have it available in Firefox. I know there's a lot of people that use Firefox. It might be worth looking into. But what you want to do, so I already have it. So what you can do is add this tool to your Mozbar, and it's free. That's one of the great tools about it. It's free. Okay, it's free. So you just want to add it. Just kind of follow the prompts, and that should get you to it. So the purpose of Mozbar is really to kind of give you some good insight. Okay, so all right, actually, let's jump over to George. I haven't heard back from Mike. So, all right, let's do this. All right. Let's take a look at. All right. All right. So Properties 360 LLC. So this is a page from this is George. George is, it looks like he's in the Baltimore area. So let's do this. And all right, let me just kind of glance through. So it looks like you've utilized some of the content, which is great. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So obviously, looks like George is in the Baltimore market. So what I would tend to do to kind of get a glance at the competition, what I would love to do is simply just head over and just do a search. Okay. And the safest one is usually just do sell my house fast. Okay? That's because some markets, they don't have bandit signs. I mean, so if you're in a market to where you just don't see bandit signs as you're driving through town, it's probably better for you to go after sell my house fast. That's kind of probably the most uh, it's you're better off using sell my house fast. Just put it that way. So I'm gonna just do sell my house fast Baltimore, and now what happens is I'm able to, let me see. I'm trying to utilize. Okay, there we go. So this really shows me the scope, because a lot of times people say, well, how long is SEO going to take? What should I be doing with SEO? What are some things that I should focus on with SEO? Because to be successful, first of all, you guys, you got to be on page one of Google. Okay, page two, page three is just not going to cut it. And there are stats to back that up as well. They say that the number one position website for a performing keyword will command about 33%. And the number 10 position, which is all the way down here, is only going to get about 2% of traffic, if anything. Okay, so and usually those numbers are probably more realistic in a big area like Baltimore. Now, if you guys are in a small market, let's say 100K or less, maybe 50K, you probably have to command the number one spot just to get consistent leads. Some markets are not forgiving in being number two, number three. So you got to go after number one. And the reason why I state that, the biggest issue that most websites run against is not necessarily you guys are doing SEO incorrectly, or there's anything wrong. You're just not doing enough of it, or in some cases it's just a matter of time, meaning you're doing the right things, you're optimizing everything, you're doing everything correctly, you're following the 3 lead per day training, and you're spot on. And now it's just a matter of time, because in some cases Google will intentionally hold back websites just for it to age a little bit. That's just simply because, guys, page one is holy grail. Okay, Google is just not going to just let anyone jump on page one. Okay, because their customers are not you or me as website owners. Investor care is not their customer. Their customer is the person doing a search, and Google's job, their business is to provide relevant, high quality results when someone does that search. If they stop doing that, people are going to start going over to Yahoo. People are going to start jumping on Bing. Whatever. It's going to take away from Google, right? So it's very, very important that you understand what are these guys doing that Google's allowed it on page one. And one common denominator is going to always be on domain authority. You'll see here, like this website. So this one has a domain authority of 1336 Express Home Buyers. They've been around for a very long time, so they have not only have they been optimizing, but their website has aged for a while. And why aging is so important? Google tends to trust websites that have been around a lot longer. They look at it as this company stable. They're a real company, so they're legit. Okay, so then this one here, 18 direct MD cash buyers. These guys are brand new. They're brand new to the scene, less than 6 months, but they're already jumping up in domain authority. They already have a domain authority of 6 and page authority of 21 in a short period of time. And I'll share with you what these guys are doing. Okay, so give me just a second. Okay, all right. Just had to sneeze there for a little bit. But you see how all these are, again, they all carry high domain authority. That's why it's so important. So when you know that your market, the majority of websites, usually what that means is that you probably gonna have to do citations. You're gonna have to do social signals, and then you probably gonna, well, not probably, you will have to do backlinks. Okay, that's just a given. It's just, there's really nothing that else that you can do to make up for backlinks. And backlinks, I'm not going to lie to you guys, it is hard. It is boring. It's very complex, but backlinks do count for the majority of what provides or what gives a website an authority. And backlinks is really, guys, just real quick, it's just simply another outside website linking back to your site. So, and the reason why it's so important is Google looks at that as a virtual vote. Remember, the way I like to describe SEO is a lot of people, and when we talk about authority, right? When we talk about, what it takes to be on page one, it's really simply a matter of trust. Okay, that's what authority simply means. So when Trevor or myself talk about authority, really just translate that word as the trust. Okay, Google has to trust you before they get you on page one. Okay, so that's why, and Moz is such a great tool to give you that landscape of what's lying ahead. Because I've had so many people also as well on strategy calls stuck on page two and tell me, man, I'm doing this, this, and this. It seems like what I'm doing is not working. And when we analyze, a lot of times you guys don't realize I'm analyzing your competition when we're on these calls, and I come to realize that everyone on page one has some pretty high authority. So the level of backlinks you're doing is just not going to cut it, because for me, backlinks is just not a matter of it is a time factor. It is a process like we talk about, but also there's levels of backlinks that sometimes you just got to have to go to the next step. If you're in the Houston market, if you're in San Antonio market, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., you being in this market, realistically, guys, just being totally transparent, you guys just inherited a harder task than maybe someone in a smaller market. But at the same time, maybe the person in the smaller market might rank a little bit quicker, but they're not going to have the volume as you are once you get to that place, right? So Mozbar is a very, very vital key. And also it just kind of keeps, even as you progress, as you get there, it's still good to kind of see what people are doing and how much, what's going on around you, because sometimes SEO, ongoing SEO is vital, because if I stop doing SEO, even let's say I get myself to the top, what's going to happen is, excuse me, let me just then shut off my phone. What's going to happen is that as you stop and someone's kept pushing through, they're going to eventually overtake you. So SEO is one of those things that it is ongoing, but depending on your market, sometimes no one's going to challenge you. So once you get there, you can be a little bit more hands off, and you're good without having to do much at all. But the cool thing is, by understanding and knowing where you stand and where everybody's standing, that will kind of really help you gauge what exactly that you need to do, okay, in terms of building that trust, building that authority. So when we talk about citation, when we talk about backlinks, when we talk about social signals, and here's the thing I really want you guys to get, is that they're not really things or tasks to be done to help drive traffic. They're primarily tasks that's going to help you build credibility with Google. So citations, for an example, citations is not going to be your primary source for backlinks that's going to move up your website. Citations is great more or less for credibility, because as you're listing your website, your business information on multiple business directories out on the internet, and all your information is consistent with each other, that's credibility. It's like someone checking your credit report. If they've seen that you've worked like 8 jobs in the last 6 months, that probably doesn't show that you're stable or that you're not a good worker, right? There's a lot of data that can kind of reflect, who you might be. So that's why citations is a part of that. Again, backlinks. Backlinks is not about just trying to get people to your site, even though it can. like you providing a link on your Facebook page, that can produce traffic for you for leads. But some of that is also we tell you to do that simply because it can also build up that credibility. Because if Google sees that you're active or your website is being mentioned on social media, you must be a real company. So over time, that builds up. So I was actually talking to a care member yesterday. That's all that he did. He's never built any backlinks, never. But he's gotten reviews. He's done a lot of citations, and he's very active on social media. And just through that, he's been able to progress. But now he's at a standstill, and now he's at that point to where the missing element is just him creating backlinks that will actually boost his website forward. And he's in a really, really competitive market. So again, Mozbar is one of those tools you need to have. And again, you got to engage your market. You got to really be active. You just can't just kind of let the website sit there and just not doing anything and just hope that it moves you forward. And then weeks later, months later, you wonder why I'm not getting leads, right? So these are the things that you got to do. It's back to our question. What do you have to do to win your online market? Part of that winning has to do with you got to be a marketer. You got to be having that mindset of a 27 or 24/7 marketer. Okay. The person that has that mindset of a marketer will always be the one that wins, right? So very, very important that you're always marketing. And these are some things that will contribute and will help you do that. So so some really, really, really quick questions. All right. So before we kind of move on to some other tools, any questions on Mozbar? All right. Now, again, just specific questions on Mozbar. I want to get through this training, and then at the end we'll open up for Q&A for some live diagnose. But right now, any specific question for Mozbar? Okay, and if you guys are watching this, also listening to this call outside of it being Tuesday, you're probably listening to a recording. So if you do have questions, make sure you send them through the chat box, and we can make sure that we'll make sure to answer that. But those of you that are on this live call, any questions regarding the Mozbar? So, yeah, so M says 100 on this one. This one, actually, it's Google. This is I'm actually on a Google page. Okay, so that's why it's 100. Yep. So Google has, obviously, they're pretty up there. So yeah, so there's very few that have 100. YouTube has 100 domain authority. Facebook has domain authority of 100. 100 is the highest score you guys can get. Pinterest. But here's the thing too, guys. I'm kind of glad I got brought up. So as you're building backlinks as well, you want your backlinks to be coming from high authoritative or trustworthy websites. Okay. What's going to happen is, so if I were to get, so let's say so you tell me which of these websites, if they were to give me a backlink, would provide me with the most value. Okay. Well, there's kind of a exception to that, but website goes, I'm not counting Facebook. To me, it would be Express Home Buyers, because they have a high domain authority. Because the more authority that a website has, the more respected that vote is. Remember, look at backlinks as a vote for your website. But that vote can't come from you, right? That's why when you get a backlink from a high authority website, that really has a lot of weight. So if I were to get if Express Home Buyers were to give me a mention and a link back to my website, that probably give me a nice little push. But again, one backlink is not going to jump you from page 3 to all the way to page 1, right? But I just wanted to show you the concept of why this tool is important. One is it's going to help you. It's going to help you evaluate your competition. It'll help you determine what you're up against, but also it's a great way to know as you're working with websites So like me, I love getting webs. I love getting um, 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 uh, backlinks from. I'll create some blog articles on WordPress. Okay, so they have a domain authority of 100. Now, when you create a blog, I don't want to get too deep into this because all this information is in the in module 4 of the 3 lead per day training. But like if I create some blog articles, again, at the same time, I don't want to leave footprints. And what I mean by footprints, getting a little bit technical, but if you can follow me, do your best, because backlinks is not an easy topic. But when I create backlinks, because you can acquire backlinks, guys, from other websites, but it's very hard to do because we're in a very unique niche. Google wants those backlinks to come from relevant high authority websites, which means since we're in the real estate circle, the link would count best if your link came from a real estate website. Now, I know there's bigger pockets. I know there's some other blog platforms out there, but even though it's good to have a backlink, let's say in your bigger pocket profile that links back to your website, it's not going to really push your website the way we want it to, because bigger pockets has a setting to where they don't pass on what's referred to as juice to your website to push your website. But again, it's still good to have a backlink because it's good to diversify your backlinks. Okay. Again, really getting technical, so I apologize. I don't mean to do that. But back to my what I was saying was, anytime you got, that's why I'm really big on creating backlinks. Okay. And the way I create backlinks is find platforms like WordPress. Another good one is Tumblr. I like them. These are high authority platforms, and plus they're not going anywhere soon. So see, they have a domain authority of 98. So I can set up websites on these platforms that I can create articles, again, which I'm not going to brand. It's not going to have Adrian's information. It's not going to have Chief REI Solutions on there. You're kind of creating a third person, kind of like someone outside your business creating articles that's referencing you. That's why I say we create backlinks. Okay. But there's a way to do it. And we break it down in module 4 of the 3 lead per day training. Okay. So, so as if you guys are searching for, sources to create backlinks, the Mozbar can help you identify just how much authority that they carry. Okay. Since we're on the topic, let me see if I can provide you with another source that I like to use. Let me look at some of my past reports. I know my team, we do. So we use, here's a good one. I'm going to give you guys some value since you guys are on this call. Snack websites. See how they have a domain authority of 61? That's a great one. So you don't have to have websites, guys, that are 100% 100, right? I think anything above 50 is good. Any websites that have a domain authority of 50 or more is good. So I like snack websites to create your websites on, and content that can link back to your website. Okay. Here's another one. You guys are getting some really good value from this because these are my sources when I create backlinks. Okay. So here's another one that I use. Okay. Or actually here, Weebly. Weebly is a good one. See how they have the domain authority 93. So there's 3 guys that you can use. For some reason, that other one didn't come up. I'll have to double check that. Joomla is what it's called. I think I might have spelt it wrong. Because everyone's always asking where can I create these articles on? There we go. So it's Joomla. See, it has a 67. Okay, so Joomla, Weebly, snack websites, Tumblr, and then WordPress. Okay, you guys get that? Kathy, great question. Can we use Content Pro? No. The best way to utilize you can't repurpose the Content Pro articles. What I like to do is just publish it on your website, make some tweets, and just promote that from your website on Facebook. But I would not recommend at all to use and copy and paste the articles, because when you're creating backlink articles, the article has to be 100% unique. Okay. Yeah, it has to be unique. And one great way to know if your website, I was just talking to Trevor about this last night or yesterday, was I like to use Copyscape to make sure that my articles are as unique as possible. And you can use Copyscape. Copyscape will really help will help you determine how unique your article is. The more unique, the better. Okay, so yeah, so I would not repurpose the content articles for other use other than for your website. Okay, it's just not best practice, right? So it's best to use with your website. Does that make sense, Kathy? All right. Let's see. That's a really good question, JB. That's a really good question. Let me get back to that at the end of the call, because that's a little bit more time consuming. But awesome, good, Kathy. JB said, "How do I know the site passes juice or not?" So there is a advanced way to that's actually in the 3 lead per day training. I show you how to see that. So I'm probably going to just direct you guys to because it is very detailed, and I think that video is like 15-20 minutes. I hate to kind of divert back, but that's the reason why we have the 3 lead per day training. There is a piece in the 3 lead per day training that I teach and show you how to identify if it's a no follow or a follow website. No follow means that when you get a backlink from that website, they don't pass on juice. Right? Juice is kind of the terminology of SEO terminology that we use when we say, if by getting juice, you're getting that quote unquote power to increase your website. Okay. Some websites give them, some don't. Like Bigger Pockets, they don't give juice, so it's a no follow backlink. Follow backlinks, they pass on juice to your website if they give you backlinks. So all of these here, I know for sure are follow. Okay, all of these are follow, so that's why I wanted to give them to you guys. Joomla, Weebly, Snack Websites, Tumblr, and WordPress. All of these are follow. All right, and really, guys, those 4 is probably all you need, right? You just need to but you don't want to make sure, you don't want to always be using the same account. So what I do is every month I'll use these, but the next month I may still use the Joomla, but it's going to be under a different account. Okay, when I say a different account, I'm going over to Yahoo and setting up new Gmail accounts to create new accounts. Because remember, it gets suspicious if if your website is getting links all the time from the same source. You don't want to do that. Your source of backlinks have to be diversified. Okay, so that's very, very important. So Kathy, great question. Do you have these sites, accounts on these sites with your name? No, you want to be anonymous. Okay, you want to be anonymous, because remember, if you come out with your business name, or let's say it is coming back to you, it's kind of like, look at it this way, you're voting for yourself, and Google doesn't want you to vote for yourself. So you kind of have to just be kind of a third person. And what I do is I always set up the blog post just with a keyword. All right, a keyword or something really generic, but I don't put any branding on it. I don't reference it as, hey, to get an offer. I'm not soliciting my website on these platforms. Okay, I'm just providing a backlink. There's a big difference. You're not promoting yourself on these websites. All you're doing is providing, look at it this way, pretend you're a blogger and you're providing value to people who need to sell their house. So let's say you write up an article on how someone could sell their house. And then one of the sections you talk about working with an investor, right? And then in your article, you would say, here's a good example of an investor who buys houses, and then you provide a link to your site. So you got to make it very strategic to where you're just kind of providing a source, but you're not soliciting. Does that make sense? Again, Kathy, best thing to do is with that question, jump into the 3 lead per day training. I didn't really plan on really going in this deep with backlinking because it is a complex, very timely process. Okay. So please go into the 3 lead per day training module 4, which is off page optimization. Cool. Okay. All right. Yep. Oh, good. Good. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, Kathy. All righty. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, Mike, if you can get like backlinks from like real estate agency companies like Keller Williams, dude, that is gold. I know sometimes it's hard to do. That's why, guys. Yes, you can go out and maybe network and talk to some other investors. Maybe you can provide a value to them, because remember, you got to provide value too, guys. You just can't go up to companies, hey, backlink to my website. Bring value to them. So it might be provide a really kick butt article, okay, and then they'll credit you as the source. Something to that. So obtaining backlinks is kind of a craft in itself. There's a lot of good articles out there, a lot of good content out there. You just have to research for it. But it can be one of those things that's risky, that you put a lot of effort into it, a lot of time into it, and you're not getting anybody to link back. So I personally would rather spend my time and effort in creating backlinks. Now, is that the best? Is there some things you need to do to kind of be careful with? Yes, right? That's why you got to do it very carefully, right? And that's why, like I said, I don't want to summarize too much in this call, because if I summarize, I more likely will leave out an important element and just where you guys end up not doing it right. So that's why I'd rather refer you guys back to the 3 lead per day training, because I really break it down there. All right. So yeah, cool. Looks like we found a good topic to talk about. So Jeff, hey Jeff, once you install Mozbar, how do you get to show the authority of sites with under a particular search? Dude, all you do is just if it's active, and so these are all you're looking for right here. All I care about is the PA and the DA, mostly the DA. That's all I care about. So as long as your Mozbar is active like this one is, get cash for your get cat. Let's see. So I'm gonna make up a keyword in my local market. Get cash for your house in Wilmington, North Carolina. So let's say I want to kind of do something on my own backyard. All right. So you'll see that the We Buy Houses brand is #1 in this market. I'm kind of experiencing some glitch. This is going off and on. It's not showing. So maybe. But yeah, so anytime you just do a search, whatever you're trying to rank for. Maybe you want to take a look at some markets that you want to potentially maybe start marketing in. You want to kind of see what am I against. Just do that. It shouldn't be doing this, but for some reason it's not showing it. But yeah, it's just kind of all over the place. Let's see. Let's reactivate it. Yeah, for some it's not showing up, but yeah, as long as it's activated and you're seeing this tool here, just do a search, and then all the websites that's ranking for that term should have this. And really, the Mozbar, really, guys, again, as I mentioned, the only thing I use the Mozbar is just to kind of give me a quick glance at the domain authority. That's all I use it for. Okay, I don't use the link analysis. I don't think they have a good link analysis. They never really show anything. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, that might be a glitch too, Jeff. Mozbar can be a little bit it's not too dependable at times. I mean, it's a great tool. Don't get me wrong. Moz is a great company. They're stable. They're legit. All right. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. Um, yeah, so Mozbar, it's one of those things that might just be a glitch right now. Okay, so hopefully you might have to just kind of play with it and mess with it. Sometimes I like what I'll do if I'm having issues with it, I just turn it off. I have it in my the toolbar here, and I'll just reactivate it, turn it off, turn it on, and sometimes that might do it too. But it's being funky right now for some reason. But anyway, I just want to introduce to you the concept. And again, one other thing, just be careful. Mozbar is not the best at analyzing backlinks. Um, again, all I use is just give me that quick landscape, that quick glance of what a market looks like on page one. What am I against? Okay, so if I'm seeing a lot of high domain, and to me, for our industry guys, um, um, for our industry guys, I would say anything 5 and above is good. All right. In our industry, a lot of companies, like express home buyers, very rare that we see an investor website like theirs who's been around a long time. They're kind of far in between. A lot of companies, a lot of people come into this business come and go, right? So it's very rare that you'll see a very high domain authority from investors. But if you see, I would say 5, 10, you're probably going to have to do quite a bit of SEO, not just the normal, but you really step it up on SEO, like a lot of backlinks, a lot of social signals. So you just kind of have to step it up. Now, if a lot of the websites are just kind of maybe at 1 or 2, and then it's probably going to be a lesser, it's going to be an easier task. Not to say it's going to be easy, I'm just saying a lesser task. Okay. I would say anything above DA5, it's gonna be competitive. 10, very competitive. Okay. You'll see, I mean, just like you saw in the Baltimore market. All right. All right. Yeah, so I mean, Kathy, Google Plus, I mean, to me, Google Plus, I just use that just to post articles. Again, I don't do it to drive traffic. I don't, because a motivated seller is not going to go to Google Plus to find a solution, right? It's I don't think anyone really knows how to use Google Plus, to be honest with you. But me personally, anytime I promote an article, I do put the article on Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter. Again, not to drive traffic. It's simply just to kind of build up some social signals. Okay. So I wouldn't worry too much. I mean, if you do have a Google Plus account, yeah, I mean, don't leave anything blank. Put some pictures. Just make it like a real account. But other than that, I just use it just to post articles, and because most likely no one's going to see the article. But again, I'm doing it more for social signals. So I wouldn't spend too much time. I'd rather have you guys spend your time and effort into those tasks that's going to really, again, not just drive traffic, but also help boost your website. But there's some things there's really no need to kind of go down that rabbit's hole. So, yeah. So, all right. Yeah, virtual assistant. I mean, if it's in the budget, guys, and you have the time to set up a nice structure. I tried the virtual assistant in my real estate business before, but I mean, man, there's just, I don't know. I just haven't really had great, like, again, don't base your answer on getting assistant on my experience. I'm probably not doing it right. But yeah, I mean, if anytime you can delegate something over to someone for the sole fact that it's going to get done, do it. It's worth it. That's one thing I'm learning in my business. I'm learning how to delegate more and more, and it's a game changer. So if you guys can delegate over some of this task over to a VA, definitely do it. Definitely do it. As far as real estate VA to write, again, article has to be good. I don't know how, I mean, if you can get a VA that's really good at, if you're going to outsource to VA, I would make sure that their biggest attribute or biggest skills is in writing, right? Because I know VAs, they can pretty much do everything, but I don't know, backlinks, me personally, we have an American writer. Yeah, it's a little bit of money, but it's worth it to us because backlinks is very, very important. I don't want to take any shortcuts on my backlinks. Okay. So that's why me and Trevor have been talking about offering just backlink service, because we know it's not easy. It's not easy to find good writers. It's not easy to find people who understand this whole concept that can help you put it together. And then some of you are just too busy, right? So we're kind of throwing around the idea of just offering 100% just backlink service, because that's really, there's a lot of you out there. That's all you need is backlinks, right? There's really no need to do anything else. Just focus your time on backlinks. But again, at the same time, it's not an easy task. So, um, yeah, JB, yeah, Fiverr's awesome, but again, it's, you got to look at the job that needs to be done, and Fiverr is just one of those places I personally wouldn't trust. I've done a lot of the writers we get is through Upwork, so the nice thing about Upwork is that you can filter people who are overseas or American. Okay, so I have an American writer. She's a good writer. All I care about is that the grammar is good and it makes sense, right? I mean, because technically no one's going to see it. Technically, no seller's going to find that, and then they're going to go to your website and fill out your form. The purpose of making sure the article is good is that's credible to Google, because that's really what you're doing it for. You're writing that for Google, right? So because the more you can show that it's quality, the more benefit that it will be to your website when it comes to your backlinks. So I use Upwork, but my biggest thing is I use an American writer. Okay, American writer, and then I also make sure that my writers run through all their work through Copyscape. Okay, at least my tier one. You guys will. Those of you are in the training right now, you know what I mean by that. The articles that link back directly to your website are the ones that are most important. Those are the ones you really want to be on top of. Those are the ones I run through Copyscape. Okay. All right. So, yep. So I would try Upwork. They're really good. Alrighty. Let's see. All right. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to next thing. So, did you guys get a lot out of Mozbar? Any other? Was that helpful? Please give us feedback, because remember, we want to make these calls about you guys. I'm not up here to try and spout off what I know or how I do things. This call is about you guys. So if I can get feedback, that really helps in knowing that we're touching on the right subjects, right? We're talking about what is going to help you today, not what sounds good, what not looks good, but things that are going to help you guys today. Awesome, great. So Kathy, awesome, absolutely, yes, great help, great. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. All right, so now kind of go back to the tools. This is the tool that I recommend for I call it Ahrefs. There's different ways of saying it, but I call it Ahrefs, right? This is the tool that I personally love when it comes to analyzing backlinks. Okay, there's two things that I like to use this tool for. One, to check my own backlinks, make sure that I mean, again, it's still not perfect, guys. Okay, but it's still a great tool, right? It's probably the better of the tool when it comes to analyzing backlinks. There's two things that I like to do. This can help me identify. So again, it's back to strategic, because remember, this person. Let's see. Let's choose houses. Let's pick on Chicago today. So let's say that I wanted to start a website in Chicago. All right, so brand new. You're on this call, so you really want to leverage the internet. You want to rank on Google. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check out who is on. Well, this is not going to help too much, because for some reason that tool is not working too well today. All right. So anyways, you know what? I actually don't need that tool today for this example. So let me just turn that baby off. All right. Okay. So let's say that we identified the Moz, right? And let's say I found that the number one position had the best domain authority. Because sometimes too, guys, just because like you saw with Express Home Buyers, they had the biggest domain authority, but they weren't ranked number one, right? So domain authority is important, it's vital, but just because you have the most doesn't always mean you should be on top. There's different reasons that it could be that Express Home Buyers is not doing much optimization on that page in that market now. So that even though they carry, they still should be keeping up, right? So just because you have high domain authority doesn't always equate to number one. That's why you have to do a mix of different type of optimization. Like I said, social signals, backlinks, where those backlinks are coming from, how good are those backlinks? Because just because you have a backlink is not an automatic. I mean, that's a whole different topic. The backlink should be coming from a good source. Backlinks, guys, is not about how many I can get. Oh, there you go. That's weird. What was I saying? Oh, it's about quality, not quantity. I would take 5 quality backlinks over having 50 so-so backlinks. Okay, that's how important quality is. Okay, so it's not about trying to create this massive bunch of backlinks to your website. So if you get a backlink from a gaming website, or let's say a cooking website, it's not going to be much of value because Google sees no relevancy between the two. Okay, so anyway, so what I like to do is as I go through here, as I come through here, I just kind of see where everybody's at. Like, okay, see right here, Weebly. See these guys. These guys built a website. Let's take a look. So these guys are ranking. They're using a Weebly site and ranking on page 1, right? So to me, that gets my attention. Like, okay, why they're ranking? So obviously they're using a free resource. Now, just because they're ranking on page 1, that doesn't mean anything, because Weebly, I just don't see converting well for them. So again, you can be number 1 all day, but if your website doesn't convert, it means nothing, right? Because I mean, like this website is just not structured well for conversion. So, but you guys don't have to worry about it. You guys have Carrot, right? So anyways, let's see. Take a look at it. So this would be a really good, interesting one to check. So what I do is, let's go ahead and, so what I'll do, I'll show you what I do. I know why I'm sneezing. I have my assistant, she set up a little, I don't know what you call it. It's a cinnamon air freshener, but it sits on a lava. That heat is what generates that scent, and I've had it on all morning. I was wondering why I was sneezing so much. I'm not allergic to it, but I think it's just too much. All right, so here we go. All right, I'm gonna just I'm on the PC. I switch over to Macs, and for these calls I got to do on the PC because it's just I have a big screen, so I forget the shortcuts. So all right, so here's my account. Okay, so what I'm gonna do. All right, there we go. So what I'm gonna do is, let's take a look. Let's see where these guys are getting their stuff from. All right, cool. All right. All right. All right. So this is what I'm going to do here. And let me tell you why I like this thing too, because I think it can give you some really good insight. Give me just a second. All righty. All right. All right, so this is what I do. So this is a really good find. So let me tell you how I use this site. One, it kind of can help me. Now, if I'm using it on my own site, it's really good to know what backlinks that you're showing up for. And then also here, this is a good indicator of social signals. So I always like to try, and that's why I like to share my content on Facebook, Google, and Pinterest. I mean, I don't. It's once in a while I'll do Pinterest, but it's usually these two and Twitter, because Twitter has some pretty good value too. So this really gives you a good indicator of your backlink profile. Now, it takes time for backlinks to show up too, guys. So just because you do a backlink, let's say today, it's not going to show up tomorrow. Okay, usually it takes about 3 or 4 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks to have Google come up, for it to be picked up somehow, right? So don't think it's going to be like SEO doesn't work in real time. Let's put it that way. But these guys also show how many social signals that you're picking up. So these guys, they have to have 12, 0. So that's why if I'm seeing that I'm low on these, I'll start promoting some posts and start also posting those articles on these websites. Okay. So I tend to use articles because it just seems more natural. Instead of just posting your homepage and say, hey, if you want to sell your house, go to my website. I just like to make it more natural by sharing content articles. Okay. So what I would do is this tool is, again, not only do I want to check out my competition, but I want to see if I can pick up some new sources, because obviously these guys are doing something that Google likes that has them on page 1. So if I can, again, no need to reinvent the wheel. If I can just replicate maybe what these guys are doing. Now, again, not to say that these guys are perfect or doing everything right. Again, that's why we kind of just want to look at and glance to see what they're doing and see if there's something that they're doing that we can benefit from. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing right here is they have 193 backlinks, and you see how so one thing I love about these guys, they have a nice diversity of backlinks. Remember how I said some websites give no follow links? So many, the mistake that people make is, well, this website doesn't provide with me a no follow, so it's not worth my time. No, you should still be getting links from no follow, because this has to be diversified right here, guys. Your backlinks should have a nice diversification of both do follow and no follow. Because if you have a bunch of just do follow links, that just doesn't look natural. You can actually over optimize your website. Okay, so these guys have done a great job of diversifying that. So just because a website does not have no follow does not make it something not worth doing. You still want to have, that's why when you guys hear me say diversity, you should have a nice chunk of both, not just follow. Again, follow is what's going to juice your site. But just because a website's not no follow, like bigger, that's why in the 3 Leaf Birdie training, I tell people go to bigger pockets, get some links from there. Even though it's not going to provide you value, what you're doing is building up your portfolio, which is this right here. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So all right, so I like to look at that. So again, I'm in the overview, and these guys, this is really good. I'm very, very impressed, to be honest with you. Very impressed. A lot of times, a lot of people tend to have like a 10-to-1 ratio. These guys actually have a really good ratio. Okay, so very, very impressed with that. Very impressed. So, okay, so I'll go to backlinks, and I'll just kind of see where their links are coming from. Okay, yep. Rebel Mouse. Remember how I told you guys, Weebly, Joomla, right? This is another one right here. Rebel Mouse is a good one. So it looks like this one, for some reason, it got hit, but I love rebelmouse.com. That's another source for you guys. Right there's another source. Yeah, you guys are getting a lot of value from being on this call today. These are some really, really good sources. So I'm glad that our call, I wasn't really planning on this, to be honest with you. It just kind of opened up. So, but you see how the domain authority right here is a 68, right? So this was removed, so see how you guys can discover new sources to create blogs from and links from. Love it. So that's one. Like right here, well, this one is probably, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if this gal is associated with the website because this one's branded. I'm not big fan of branded, but hey, if she's writing a bunch of other stuff, so here's a good example. I mean, I like how she does it, but let me see if she's talking about other stuff. Because if she set this up as a full website, or maybe she offers to where she allows blog posts to come in. So I mean, it was well done. So so if you see someone like this, guys, it might be worthwhile. Say, hey, how much would or could I be a guest? I see that you posted an article. Um, I came across this blog article you did back in 2004. Here's a good one too, guys. Hey, person, I see you did a blog post back in 2004 on how do you sell your houses. You know that things have kind of changed, and how about me providing with an updated version, and then just provide a link back to your site. That's an idea there. So that's one that would make sense to try obtain a link. Okay, so let's see what her. Yep, this website's a 52, so it's a good source. So that's what I would do. Like the first thing I saw was it's an article written back in 2014. So maybe reach out to her if this is a true blog post. I would say, hey, you posted this article back 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I would love to give you a fresh perspective. All I ask is just credit back to my website. Okay, so that's a good idea. So again, that's how I use. So I'm just going to go through. But right here it says unacceptable 401. So there's an error in that somewhere. It's probably in their anchor text. I don't have time to analyze their site, but somehow it's broken. So, but again, that might be an opportunity to say, hey, that article is broken. So that there's an opportunity there. So Garage Commerce, that might be a citation. Let's see, iHouseweb.com. That might be someone selling links too, because that it's set up on a actual domain. Let's see what the authority is. 60, so that's not bad. So you see why these guys are ranking on page one is because they have a lot of high quality links. Now they're not 99s, they're not 80s, but 60 is good. All right, so let me see if these guys. Yep. So what I would do, here's another opportunity. What I do is right here. If this is a good domain authority, it's not spammy. What I would do, just make a comment. Hey, great. Just make a small comment. Put your name, email, and put your website address. Now it's not going to be like something that really pushes your website, but you can actually get a backlink just by posting on as a comment. Just put your website here. Now, again, it's just one little thing, but as you're analyzing in Ahrefs, you see how those opportunities are coming up. So this is a good blog post. I would just say, hey, shoot, I'll do that right now. But of course, the chance of them denying it is there. But hey, why not? They might have someone that maybe it's not, because if they see that I'm one of their competition, let's see, or I'm not even their competition really. Let's see, which one am I going to use? Let's use this one here. I got so many websites out there. Oh, this. So I guarantee that this will show up. So let's see, spot on. That this doesn't make me sound spammy, like I'm just some robot posting. So let's see, social proof. So spot with the article. I'll just kind of make something really, especially on on the social proof. So this shows them that I'm a real person. So I'm referencing something in the article. Okay. I meant so it probably tell me that it's going to be, due to approval. Yep. Yep. Cool. So yeah, your comments went. So if they, that's why I intentionally put this here, kind of a slick way to make sure that, hey, I'm real. I'm not some guy. So, but the cool thing is I have my website attached to this now. Cool. So you guys kind of get the idea. You guys get the idea on how to use Ahrefs. I mean, dude, we could do this all day, but obviously, I mean, we found a really good one. Now, is everyone going to be like? Is each and every one going to be this way? No. I mean, we just kind of really hit on a really good one. So again, you kind of see different ways it can provide some different opportunities to get a backlink, or find sources of backlinks, or find new platforms that you can create backlinks on. Right. So it's just a lot. It's a lot of gold digging. It's a lot of different opportunities. Is it time consuming? Yeah. But you know what? It's important. This counts for the biggest ranking factor when it comes to ranking a website. So this is some of the things you should be doing if you're in a big competitive market. Okay. Or if you guys are just stuck on page 2. Again, a lot of times it's not that you guys are doing anything wrong or there is something wrong. You're just not doing enough for that market. Okay. So, it's just some of those things. Again, nothing wrong. You just need to do more, or elevate your game. Right. You just can't expect. Kind of what's the definition of insanity? Thinking that you're going to get better results by doing the same thing. Right. So SEO is kind of the same thing. You just can't expect to do very little, or just a little bit, or just a little bit more, and think that you're gonna jump leaps and bounds. That doesn't happen that way. If you guys are seeing that you're not moving, don't think it as something's wrong. You just got to do more of it, right? You just got to do a lot more of it. So it kind of has to have it. You have to have a kind of a mindset shift. Okay. All right. So I love that tool, guys. So let me ask you this. So, how do you like Ahrefs? Pretty cool tool. Give me some feedback, because if you guys are liking this stuff, these are kind of calls that we want to focus on. So let me know. So, what do you guys think of this part, about the Ahrefs? You guys like it? Let's see. Each blog we create. No, yeah, each blog has to be as original as possible. I mean, as original as possible. That's why it is a big investment. You can't really take and I'm not saying you're trying to take shortcuts, but let's kind of stop that mentality. And again, I'm not saying this person who's asking this question has this mindset. I'm just going to tell this to everybody. Man, with backlinks, you got to just have that tenacity mentality. Like, man, I'm going to do what it takes. If it means that I'm going to have to create 5, 6 original articles, that's what's going to take. Not, hey, can I just do one and then copy and paste? You just don't want to do that. You got to do. I mean, this is worth it, guys. This could literally change your game. This could totally change your lead generation by just by moving one position. Because remember, back to positioning, number 1 website, they command 33% of traffic. The number 2 position commands 17%. You see, 33 and 17 is a big difference. So, so you see, that's why I'm saying, guys, have the mentality of, I'm going to kind of revert back to this. Know what you have to do to win your online market. Part of that is just that tenacity mindset. You know what? I'm going to do what it takes. Because if your competitor they may be doing backlinks, but let's say they're doing shortcuts, and you're the one that's not. Who do you think is going to win? So you got to have just that tenacity, like do what you got to do. So, yeah. So some of the questions I'm getting is more than one question is, how unique or original the articles have to be. Make it all original. That's the easy way to do it. That's the easy way for me to answer, and you're going to get the best results that way. Oh, Mike, you'll love it if you're very if you're into that stuff. You will love it. Oh no, dude, I totally see that. I just really wanted to Really want to address that to everybody because I want everyone to have that mentality like, man, I just want to win. I'm going to do what it takes. So, but I'm glad you love it, Mike. It's really a great tool. Not cheap, guys, not cheap, but maybe just try it for a month or two. Make an investment into it. Okay. I have the paid version, but it's worth it to me because now my websites are producing because they're ranking where they need to be. Like in one particular market, man, we're doing 4 to 8 deals a month, right? So I know the number of deals means nothing, right? It's all about profit, but just want to make the point that we are doing deals because we have so much leads coming in because of simply positioning ourselves in that top position. And we wouldn't be able to do that unless we had what we're talking about today. Okay. Awesome. Cool. All right. Looks like everybody liked that. So let's move on. So here's another one that man, it's a little bit more advanced, for sure, but I'm going to cover it just a little bit. I mean, because I know there were some advanced people on this call, so I thought, you know what, let's cover this and bring it up. It's called Open Link Profiler, right? So it's a really again another great alternative. It's a great it's just really great to use tools that can give you different point of views. Again, I personally like this one the best. I just think they're the best when it comes to backlinks, right? Now, these guys, they do have a, um, let me make sure. Losing audio earlier just kind of made me paranoid. Make sure that I have audio. All right, yeah, it looks like we're good. So, so I like this one better. Even though these guys do also have a domain authority tool, it's not as good as Mozbar. Okay, so everyone kind of has their strengths and their weaknesses, but I like this one just for backlinks. So again, this one is just another tool. Okay, it's another tool that you can use. So I'm actually just we're kind of running back on time, so you guys check it out. Mess with it. Openlinkprofiler.org. That's a great one to also have, and just from a different perspective. Okay, and then here's one thing too that I think sometimes we get all lost. And after this, we're gonna go ahead and get into some of the questions because I don't want to run this call too long. All right, so I really want to make sure we get to your questions because I know some of you have them. Just simply because there's a long wait for the strategy call sometimes. But who is utilizing the Carrot SEO tool? Oh, thank you, Rex. Thanks, Adrian. I learned a lot today. Awesome, Rex. Who is utilizing the SEO tool? Would love to kind of get an idea. All right. Yeah, so here's a question while I'm waiting for the answer. Great question, JB. Does it make sense to try and get or use the same backlinks that my? Oh, yeah, of course, because here's the mentality, JB, that you want to have. Remember, it's not about reinventing the wheel. And these guys are on page one for a reason. They didn't just, Google trusts them. Google likes them. So if these guys are using certain sources for backlinks, it must be it must have Google's approval per se, right? So I want to use those same resources, right? So now this blog post, that one is kind of, doesn't happen very often, but if Google is respecting, that's why I like these websites I gave to you guys, because I know all of these are respected by Google. I don't use it just because, well, of course I use it because they have great domain authority, but Google recognizes them very well. And I have found in my own websites and my own backlinking that they respond to these very well. So if they respond to these well, that's what I want to be using. So I guess that's kind of the way I look at it. Hopefully that helps. Okay, cool. So Christian, Mike, I'm still looking to pick up. Okay, cool. All right. So what am I talking about? So let me just go ahead and sign into my account because the admin looks a little bit different, and I'm gonna make sure you guys are seeing what you see. So give me bear with me, guys, just for just a quick second. George, I think the SEO tool is great. It's a quick source to help me see if my website's making sense. Awesome. Okay, cool. No, great feedback. All right, let's see. All right. Okay, so, all right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just go into the content marketing. So everyone on this call should have access to this because only our content pro members have access to the coaching call. So click on the content marketing. And so what I'm going to do, so here's kind of some tips for you guys. Okay, a lot of times I'm sure some of you guys get stuck with this. Is okay. There's so many articles in here. What should I do? So me, I'm again. There's if you're just kind of choosing articles just to have art, that's perfectly fine. That's better than doing nothing, right? But I encourage everyone to be a little bit more intentional with your blogs and what content you're putting on your website. Okay. And what I mean by that is really give thought on what should I be talking about in my market that can bring value to people. Okay. So here's a good example. Like I live in North Carolina. Okay. And I recently had read an article and it was from a reliable source. It was a reliable um, magazine or source, whatever. And they were saying how North Carolina is in the top 10 um, for foreclosures across the country. North Carolina ranks in the top 10 for foreclosures. So to me, that I said, okay. So what I started doing is I said, okay, so that's gonna be my topic. So that's what I mean. So use articles that make sense to your local market. Okay. So another example, if nobody's dying in your in your city, I'm just making this up, and um, I'm kind of joking around a little bit, but just to make a point, if no one's dying in your website, nobody ever dies, hey, you probably don't want to be spending time on creating articles for probate, okay? Because people won't relate. People don't know what it is. People can't, so now you can publish them, you can put them on your website, you can do those things, which is good. It's better than nothing, but how effective will they be? Okay. So here's what I suggest. So you guys might have to write this down. This is really where I want to spend some time on this call, was helping you guys identify what type of content, because we're very big on content here at Carrot, right? So what I suggest is when you come here, think about what is most what article will bring most value to your market. So don't just kind of come here and just click here, then just say, oh, okay, I'm gonna do all this without giving a thought. Be intentional, guys. All right, come here, choose what article or give thought, take a look. So I go into content articles. So foreclosure. All right, so I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to come in here. Okay, um, so I think one of the ones I did was here. So after giving a thought, whatever, you want to make sure you're choosing which one's going to really good. So here's me, guys. I mean, again, you can totally do what works for you, but I'm not a big fan of just scheduling and publishing my articles and I'm done with it. All right. Even though you can schedule for one post to go on your website once a day, once per week, once per month, and each pack. Okay. You totally can do that. Again, nothing wrong if you're doing that and you're just publishing. Again, it's better than nothing. But I really believe to go to the next level, remember, it's all about doing what it takes to win, right? Which means doing a lot of times doing me more than what your competition is doing. So what I do is I just kind of look at things. So I have a schedule that I have that every week, Kate, she's our kind of acquisitions and also marketing. I have her come in here and she'll think about what blog posts we might want to promote based on what's going on. And usually what we'll do is real estate issues or situations. So we'll do some blog posts, or we'll kind of do some searching around, see what's going on right now in our market. Okay. So I'll kind of see what's going on. Problems in Wilmington, like just kind of just man, just kind of nose around, I guess. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Just see if there's anything I can find that maybe we can kind of help us. And again, it's all about being relevant, right? So, and if we don't find anything, that's cool. We're not. I'm not gonna have her spend all day trying to find, you know, um, spending too much time on something that's just not going to produce good results, right? So, we'll kind of browse around, see what's going on. But anyway, it goes back to my foreclosure. So let's say, all right, foreclosure makes sense. People can relate because we're one of the highest foreclosure states in the nation. So what I'm going to do is how to avoid foreclosure. Okay. So what I'll do, I think this one's already on the one I wanted on. Yeah, it's already on there. So anyway, I'll just choose another one. Pre-foreclosure. Let's see if. Uh, oh, cool. So put that on my site. All right, and I'm going to go here. Okay, so I've identified what I am going to use. Okay, so here are my opportunities to really kind of add in my own flavor. I think someone on this call said that one of the things they do is they add pictures. So what I like to do is create a picture. All right, I'll create an image that I can use. All right, so what I'll do, and I'll repurpose that picture in Facebook. All right, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I just kind of go through here. What are some things I need to change? Okay, what are some things that I really need to take a look? Actually, I'll go through edit posts. Okay, so I'm going to go into edit mode. So I'm just going to come in through. Now, here's the thing too. Always be sensitive to this. I know there's a Wilmington, Delaware. Okay, because I want this article to potentially rank. I need to kind of take that extra step to make sure I'm implementing where I'm including the state as well, because I don't want Google to misunderstand that this could be for Wilmington, Delaware. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put what is it for closure in Wilmington, because that one's going to show up as Wilmington. I'm going to put North Carolina, NC. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to find right here because it's going to come up because I want it very clear. This is an article on Wilmington, North Carolina. And many homeowners across America, and right here locally in our own backyard. And so I'll just add little stuff. And then I wish I had it, but if I had it, I'll have to I don't have it right now available, but I probably would have referenced that article that Wilmington is top 10 in foreclosure. I would have referenced that in this article, maybe, so that company will get a backlink from me, right? But it's because I feel like it's worth it because I can actually, it'll bring credibility to what I'm talking about. Okay, so those are the things you want to think about as you're going through to see how you can make this article a little bit more with your spin on it. Okay. And me personally, this is just me. It's not a reflection on the article. This is just me because I know my market. I don't really like to use real estate investor. Okay. I like to put sell your home to a professional cash buyer. I just like that it has a it just has a softer tone. It just has a softer tone it's communicating the same thing, guys, but in a softer tone. That's why I like to use that. Because some people are turned off by investors, right? So um again, so that's those are the things I really want to introduce you to, is just kind of finding ways to implement what works well. Okay, I'm gonna just put North Carolina here too. Or actually I'm gonna spell it out this time. Right. Okay. All right. So that's good enough. And then the categories, I just sometimes it defaults to this, so I'm just going to do this, and then just maybe create right here. I created a category just for Wilmington, North Carolina real estate news. I'll check that. I'll see what's in here, and I don't go crazy with the tags. So just kind of put two in there. Yep. All right, and then I'll find them. I don't have time right here, but I'll definitely add a picture here to add to the to the post. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do this. Okay, and then right here, what you want to do is okay. So this focus keyword is telling me focus keyword is what's going to the tool works based on what you put in your focus keyword. Okay, so here's the thing too, guys. You got to be careful because um, see how my focus keyword is what is pre-foreclosure with the dash in there. So if the system sees, so let's say that I took out this dash, right? This tool is not going to recognize and count that as the evaluation because it's looking 100% with how do I have it written here. So be careful. So one reason why I bring that up is that sometimes your light may not be green because it's not because you're not optimizing it. It's just maybe there's a little alteration that's communicated differently here, but it's the same thing. But the system is looking for this precisely like that, so it's throwing it off. Okay, so or um, let's say you put in here pre-foreclosure in Wilmington. Okay, so pre-foreclosure. I'm just wait. Okay, right here, pre-foreclosure in Wilmington. All right. Okay. So here's another thing to be mindful of. What's going to happen? Actually, let me put this dash back in here. Okay. So what's going to happen too is that you have this in here, and let's say you get a yellow light, like, oh man, what's going on? It's not even showing that it's optimized. You know that you're doing it right. Remember the focus keyword tool. Remember Wilmington. It's not going to count this right here because the system doesn't know that the short code here is going to populate Wilmington, so it's not going to count it. So just use the tool with wasn't just be mindful that it's based on what you put in here, it's going to look for this precisely. And so if the city is meant to come up through the short code, it's not going to recognize it, so it's not going to give you credit. So again, just one of those things to be aware of, but it's a great tool to use, guys. Okay, so here's the thing. So me personally, I just like to go into the SEO time, make sure that what is foreclosure and shows up. I always like to put the state, guys. I put the state always with the market city. Okay, then the company name, then the meta description is really um, is really what shows up here. If you guys don't know, meta description is what shows up right here. Okay, so this is my mentality. This is my mindset. Is the meta description should sell the click. It should sell the click. It should make someone want to click in your ad. That's what I mean by that. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go here in here. So did you know that I'll just kind of write up a rough draft. Did you know that we're kind of ranks in the top 10 for So I'll put something like that. Again, I'm just kind of making this up real quick on the fly. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Make sure that it's something compelling. I just don't want to just put a bunch of free pre-foreclosure. You know what I mean? You get too SEO, you get too much into the SEO stuff. You still want to make it about selling your selling the point of them wanting to click on your ads. So mix up marketing with the SEO. Okay, so all right. So everything looks good. So I'm going to update it. So remember, I'm just pretending that I closed this. And all right, so let's do this. All right. Uh, all right, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to update it, make sure this is good. All right, then I'm gonna view the public one here. So here we go. All right, all right, and this is what I do, guys. All right, so I go to Facebook, and what I'm gonna do. So I know that this is what's gonna happen. Okay, so what I like to do is same thing. Did you know? You know that Florida ranks high in foreclosure. Ranks in top 10. So I'll spin it this way. Did you know that? I'm just gonna kind of spin it this way. This means this means, and I'll probably change this. This means many people didn't get the help they should have. See, this mean I kind of want to spin it to where, like, I want to spin it to where I want to talk about how that means that so many people just didn't get help that they needed. So I don't see if you're right. So all right. All right. So that's the way I do it. So here's what I do too to take it a step further, guys. What I want to do is I will boost this post. Okay. Now it does mean you guys are going to spend some money. All right. It is going to be. Now, if you really want to make sure that you're spending your money wisely, one thing I love about Facebook is that you can actually choose your location, because you see that I've done past campaigns before. So I already have a audience built in. So if you want to create a new audience, what you can do is, so if I just want to just reach Hinder County, it's a really hot market. A lot of people leverage a lot of loans in this county years ago. So that's why, so this is one of those states. So what I'm going to do is, okay, let me get rid of these. Let me see if it brings up Pender County, North Carolina. Huh. Okay. Okay. I might be in I'm in stealth mode, so that might be the reason why it's not coming up. Pender, Cali, North Carolina. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of. I'm not gonna get too much into. Okay. Let me see. Pender County, North Carolina zip codes. Hempstead. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna just put that in here. Yeah, it's probably giving me issues because so anyway, so what I would do is choose that zip code, and I'm going to target the zip code where everyone in this market sees it. So here's the thing: if I get good traction with this article, now I know what article to push. Now I begin to create backlinks to this article too, not just my homepage, but articles to this back. I'll start creating backlinks to this article because Facebook is a good indicator on how good you are, what good quality content is good for your market. Okay, so if I get a lot of traction on this article, what I'll do is then I'll start building backlinks to this. I'll really go out of my way to promote it. See why? See that? See, guys, that's why I don't like to just post and pre-schedule my articles, because you can miss out on identifying what articles or what content can really help your market and establish yourself as an authority, and also just really good stuff, right? And then what I'll do is, if let's say I get a lot of traction to this, then what I'll do is I'll create a video. I'll repurpose this content into video. Okay, and then I'll push that video, and then I'll promote a post to where now I can run this article against that video. You see how it just keeps going and going, but it's first identifying what content can possibly go viral. And again, viral is, I hate to use that word because it's, I mean, I'm not saying that you want to create 1,000 links, but it's what's relevant to your market. Okay, so a good marketer is going to experiment and try and test different things. Okay, so you got to be a marketer in that sense and just not shotgun and just post a bunch of articles. Okay, so hopefully this helps. This is a really good way to know what articles that I should focus on and what articles I should be pushing. And if it's one article that just really works well, continue to promote that article. And then you can repurpose that article into a video. You know, anything else that you can do to to promote it. Okay, so hopefully that helps, guys. On ways to really kind of know what could work for you. So, did that help, guys? Would love some of your feedback. So Christian, so that did that help you guys? Because I know some of you said I sit there and spend 15 minutes after each post till it's green. So yeah, just kind of be careful. Just because it's not green, sometimes it's not doesn't necessarily mean it's optimized. It's just like I said, a lot of it just depends on what you're putting into the focus keyword that kind of determines that. But um, so awesome. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, if you want to reference other counties in the metadata, that's perfectly fine. Again, it's about being relevant, right? You want to put yourself in the mind of a motivated seller, guys. Okay, you want to put yourself in the mind of a motivated seller and see their journey, see how they look at it, what information can help them. Now, of course, you know there might be some people that you need to nurture. That's where blog articles can come in. Okay, but also it's kind of positioning yourself as the authority go to in your market. Okay, and sometimes that's best done by providing content. Content marketing is the best way to build trust, not just saying we buy houses, we do this. Now that does work a lot. You know, I'm not saying we don't do that, but I'm just kind of helping and see as you guys begin to build this whole cycle of content, that overall will help your SEO as well. Okay, indirectly. So, um, is the Facebook dedicated for my business, or I personally, so I'm in multiple markets. I'm in North Carolina, Ohio, Pittsburgh, so I'm all over the place, and I have one dedicated Facebook page for each market because I like to be relevant. I like to be the local company. I don't like to, so hopefully that helps. But George, did you get a lot out of this call? I know you had a lot of questions, and the reason why I ask you is because you had a lot of questions. So, did you get a lot out of this call? I hope so. Uh, awesome. So Christian, did that session or that part help you? And hopefully it'll help you cut down on that 10, 15 minutes that you're spending. Again, it's probably well worth. It was well worth. It was well time spent. But did this help? Cool. All right. It was a great session. Hey, Mike, thank you for that. Thanks for that feedback. Anybody else get a lot from this session? I mean, did you guys like this type of format? Us diving in this the way that we did, like I showed real examples. Does that help? Or do you think that just going through the training and my presentation, would that have been better? Please give me some feedback. We're really ramping up our coaching calls, so I want to make sure that I get you guys' input too as well. Hey, JB says, yeah, good call, nice resources, thanks. That means a lot from JB. JB's tough. He gives a lot of tough answers, so that's a compliment from JB. Do you think anything? Do you use anything to help think of ideas for unique articles? Um, yeah. So unique articles. So Kathy, it's not really about trying to be unique in your articles. It's about communicating the solution. So one of the things that I like to do is, if this helps, Kathy, is I like to create an avatar sheet. I think I gave away one on Facebook one time. Avatar sheet is, you got to create in your mind your perfect customer. Okay, what's their problem? What's their, who are they? And I think as you begin to really understand the reason why, like, I think I'm good at what I do, and again, I'm not the best or greatest or anything by means. I just think reason why I do things very well is because when I first got started in real estate, I talked to every seller on the phone that I could, and I asked questions. What did you like about us? Why did you choose us? What's important to you? Um, do you think this is a scam? I mean, I asked so many questions, and I really dove into the minds and emotions of motivated sellers. So I got to know them. So now I feel like I'm a good marketer when it comes to communicating with them. So now I know where to position myself because I know where they go to find the solution. And I know that I know the answers to their questions because I'm always asking them or they're sharing them with me. So I think it's not about creating unique articles. It's first of all, and when I say unique, it's also making sure it's original as possible. And I know that's difficult in our situation because there's so many ways you can say we can buy your house or we can help you, right? That's the challenge right there. But I just kind of just try and find creative ways just to communicate the same thing in different ways, right? That's why I like Copyscape. Copyscape really helps me kind of know what I need to change and how much, and just by going through that Copyscape practice, you kind of create a kind of a you begin to understand and helps you develop that ability to know and how to better write unique or original content. So, oh, that's a good one, JB. Real examples triumph over formats. That's really good. I like that. It was perfect to dive in. Cool. So you guys really like that. Okay. Kathy, did that answer your question? I kind of answered like in a really long sentence. So lots of value in this call. Awesome, George. Yeah, definitely catch a replay. I will warn you, Christian, that the first 2-3 minutes were all silent. We had an audio issue. So just be aware of that. Okay, cool. All right. So I think I'm going to stop there, guys. We're getting close to our 2 hours. So I'm glad you guys got a lot of this call. We had a pretty good amount of people on this call, so I'm glad that there was good value there. At least a good dozen of you indicated that you like this format, and I think we're going to try and do a little bit more of that. So awesome. So I think we pretty much covered all we need to cover. So I'll let you guys go. So make sure you guys are jumping on back on next week's call, and we'll do it again. And hopefully, but guys, take something from this call and just make sure that you're taking action on it. Right? Make sure that you're implementing something that we went through today. So if you got to re-listen to this call, do that before next week, and just keep progressing. Have that mindset of a marketer. One book I recommend to everybody is called Guerrilla Marketing in 30 Days. Guerrilla Marketing in 30 Days. And I like that book because it really helped me establish that mindset of a marketer. So there's some stuff in here that really cool ideas, but some of it don't relate to real estate investing marketing. But I think it really helped me create the proper mindset and having that winning mindset when it comes to marketing. So sometimes you got to read books that will help you do that. But it's called Guerrilla Marketing in 30 Days. It's by J. Conrad Levinson. So, if you guys follow me on Facebook, just shoot me a message or something, and I'll shoot you a picture of it. But it's a great book on creating that marketing mindset. So, all right, guys, hope you guys have an awesome day. I'm gonna get out of here, and we'll see you again next week. Go crush it, and make sure you guys are always reaching out for help and support. We're there for you. Any questions you have, we're always here for you guys. Again, we don't crush it unless you guys crush it. So, all right, guys, have an awesome day. We'll talk to you soon.